Hello, folks, and welcome back. Another week is here. Another week in kind of lockdown still for some of us, not for some others of you. Hope you're enjoying the relative freedom that the slight loosening of lockdown in some countries is affording you. Hope you're all staying healthy and happy. This weekend, we are showing quite the Grand Prix on our replay. It is, of course, Brazil from last year. And the two drivers who had really races of their lives we're going to speak to this week. We are going to be speaking to on Saturday, Mr. Pierre Gasly. And today we are going to be joined by the in last place and who finished on an incredible podium. And if the timing of this works out, he will be joining us pretty much now. It is, of course, Mr. Carlos Sainz, all over the news at the moment. You can't look on a Formula One or motorsport-themed website or news service without seeing his name. But this race last year really was, it was such a huge race. It was such a great drive. We're going to be talking about that, of course, and taking your questions. So make sure you get your questions in, and we'll do our best to answer as many of those as we can. Now it does say it's connecting just a couple of minutes ago and it was absolutely fine. It's not worked. We're going to try this again. How's everyone doing? Is everyone well? Is everybody keeping happy? Good. Give me 2 seconds. I'll try and push the right button on this and we'll give it one more go. There we go. You see, it's worked perfectly every time so far. It's bound to be, apart from with Grosjean. That went badly. But there he is. Hello, Carlos.
Hello, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
Hello to all the fans watching us at the moment. Hope you're doing well.
Were you off getting a coffee? Was that the problem?
Yeah, probably. I'm a bit late because I went for a quick espresso that you never wake up a Spanish from the siesta.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No, I'm joking. I was not having a siesta. I was just a bit sleepy.
How's lockdown treating you? I mean, we spoke last week, obviously, about the Ferrari deal, but aside from all of that craziness and excitement, how have the last few weeks been treating you?
Well, obviously, the last couple of weeks have been quite crazy after that news, but after the chat we had together, that was pretty much closed, and now it's time to focus fully on McLaren and on the year ahead of us. So to give you a bit of an idea of my plans, at the moment I'm planning to go into London on Monday. I will be back in an airplane after 3 months. That is going to be something quite special after such a long time without getting an airplane. I guess I will have to wear all the masks and all the gloves and all that. So I will land in London, and then it will be time to go back to work. The factory is back on since Monday, I think. I don't think I will go a lot to the factory, but I am, because of the risk of getting, just in case, a bit the virus, but I am definitely going to be in touch with a lot of people there for the next month.
So you're going to have to go into quarantine when you get here for the 2 weeks?
Not at the moment, because at the moment I don't think the quarantine is starting until the 8th. So I need to go into there without having to do the quarantine. It's a bit of a dark topic at the moment because I don't know if still they're going to make me do the quarantine. I anyway have a certificate that I don't have the COVID or I haven't passed it yet. But just in case, I want to get in there before the 8th to don't have to be for another 14 days apart from these 2 months that we have already done in quarantine mode. No, so obviously I will be responsible. I will take all the precautionary things, when I do my sport or whatever. But obviously 14-day quarantine, I'm not very keen at the moment.
Yeah, and you make a good point. Getting back on an aeroplane. For all of us, going more than 10 minutes away from our house is going to seem pretty crazy. Getting onto an aeroplane is going to be something else. It's going to be strange getting back to what is termed as normal life for you as someone that travels the world every day.
Yeah, and I tell you, at some point during this 2-3 month period, I've missed an airplane. I
Really?
Never thought I would say it, but I at some point I've missed the fact of being on an airplane. Okay, now you have Wi-Fi and all that, but having a bit of time for yourself to watch a film or whatever. But I have actually missed the feeling of traveling, of the excitement of going to an airport to have to go to a race. And I've actually missed that feeling. Not a lot, because I don't like airplanes or airports that much. But at some point during quarantine, I remember thinking about it like, oh, I remember when I went to Australia, we went to the airport with the excitement of going to a race, and I missed that.
Yeah, I've seen some videos of people missing the airport so much they've been on their running machine, but with their bag, so it feels like they're on the...
No way.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
What are you most looking forward to getting back to? Is it getting back to that work ethic that you have at McLaren and all the hard work that you guys have been going through to launch yourselves back up, and obviously, you know, all the great work you did last year? Is it the sensation of driving? Is it the sensation of battle? Like, what's the thing you're most looking forward to getting back to?
Well, I would say step by step. No, first I want to be able to go back to see my engineers, my mechanics, and have a conversation with them and have a chat with them and a catch up. Then the simulator. I want to go back into a real simulator, McLaren simulator, and start testing some things and preparing the first race. That will get my excitement and my adrenaline going, you know, because it means that we are close to the first race of the year. Then traveling to Austria, landing there, having that excitement of having to go to a paddock, of having to prepare a weekend, of having to prepare FP1 and FP2, see how the car behaves after such a long time. And then the excitement of qualifying, the excitement of the race. I don't know, everything is going to be step by step, no? And it's going to be a huge build-up that I'm really looking forward to.
It's crazy to think it's been so long since we've done it. Do you think you're going to be out of practice? Is it going to take a couple of weekends to get back up to normal, both in terms of the, you know, the regimented way a weekend works, but also in terms of you in the car being competitive?
I think it will take a few laps to feel exactly 100%, but not many. I'm talking about maybe, I don't know, to find the proper limit of a Formula One car. Maybe FP1, you go out with a hard set of tires, you do push, push, and then all of a sudden you put a new set of boots, and you go again quicker, and you say, oh, now I start to feel these G-forces and the braking points, and I get my head around a Formula One car again. And I would say no more than 10 laps, and I'm back 100%. I bet.
Well, I mean, look, racing's in your blood. You've been doing it for a long time. I want to show some videos. One of them came up on social media this week. Yeah. You showing your skills from a very early age.
Well, you can see I was keen on donuts already at that time. The interesting thing a bit of this video, that at some point my dad asks during the video, who has taught this guy to do the donuts? So I can tell you no one taught me how to do them. It was just probably seeing videos of my dad at home that I learned, or at some point I saw someone doing donuts and I said, I need to try that with my electric car. At that time I was 3 years old, so I seriously don't remember how the hell did I learn how to do them, but you can see my face of wanting to put style into it, you know, like, look at me, I'm a pro, but I was really not good at it at the time.
That's crazy. So you're
much better now.
Years old.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I had no idea you were actually that young. 3 years old, and you're just naturally learning how to...
Yeah, that's my first year of school, so I'm 3 years old. That's the uniform I used to go with to the British Council School here in Madrid. And the funny thing about the video, as I said, is my dad asking who the hell taught this guy to do those donuts, because he was away something like 300 days a year, so he was only home for 2 months, so he never got the time to teach me or anything. So there must be something in the genes there that there was hidden inside me that I wanted to do it.
Well, you talk about something in the genes. Let's have a look at this, because we're re-showing Brazil this weekend. One of the races of your career, man. Incredible. P20 up to the podium. What a race. What do you remember of it?
Yeah, well, I remember especially the start of the race, the first 5 laps, and then the last 5 laps. So that's really deep in my memory because it's the key of the race. I think the first 5 laps is where I overtook 4 or 5 guys in the first 5 laps, each of them into turn 1, and that sets the race up, and that gets me firing a lot. I feel hugely motivated after that start and after those first few laps. As I said, these overtakes are happening all in lap 1, lap 2, lap 3, and lap 4. And since then, the motivation was super high. And I said, okay, now I'm going to finish in the points. At that point, I never thought I would finish in the podium. But then during those last 3 laps, then it was all crazy with the incidents happening up front, me surviving with very old tires and all that. And I don't know, it was just such an exciting race also for Formula One in general that I enjoyed it a lot. And yeah, it was just a good feeling throughout the whole race.
And you've become known as this, the smooth operator and all of that. Where did that come from? How did it stick?
It's a very good question. I still don't know how did it start, but my theory, or at least the way I try to explain it to people, is during the British Grand Prix weekend, I heard that song probably in the hotel lobby or something. It's a typical song that is sometimes in restaurants on the background music, no? And probably heard it 2 or 3 times in the radio consecutively that weekend, and it stuck into my head. And sometimes going into engineering meetings or something, I was singing the song, and the engineers were asking, why do you sing that song? Why a Spanish guy knows the song Smooth Operator, no? And honestly, I don't know, but as soon as I finished the race, it came to my mind again, the song, and I sang it inside the car in the in-lap. And since then, well, everything else is history,
But it is the way you drive, though. That very smooth style. How much did the car help you, with that smoothness, with the, in terms of conserving your tires, looking after the car crucially to get those results that you did last year?
So that's another interesting thing. I didn't know what smooth operator meant in English. I didn't know if it was literally a smooth operator. What is a smooth operator? I don't really know exactly what is a smooth operator. But then I heard about the message hidden behind the smooth operator, and I started laughing because I had no intention whatsoever of calling myself a smooth operation.
Yeah, it means like you're good with the girls. You got.
Yeah, but I didn't want to call myself. I have a girlfriend. I'm very happy, and I didn't want to call myself in front of 100 million people a smooth operator. So
yeah, that gets you in trouble.
No, not at all. It just gets me in trouble. My girlfriend understands me and knows it was a joke. But I was a bit shocked when I got to know the real meaning of a smooth operator. So it stuck from it onwards, and I didn't know how to get rid of it. But in the end, it became a joke, and I liked it. Honestly, I found that all fans were calling me smooth operator, and I actually was laughing quite a lot about it and kept it.
Well, and led to you guys sort of jumping up and down and singing it on this most memorable and unique of Formula One podiums.
Yeah, a bit of a weird one, but definitely a very special podium to have there every single member of the team that travels through our races. We remember the whole factory, but to have everyone there, even my manager, even the boss of Stria Galicia, my personal sponsor that has been with me forever. The boss, as a coincidence, was in Brazil, and he got to climb into a Formula One podium, with me, with a bottle of Estrella, the champagne and everything, So it was such a special podium, and that it was very weird, but at the same time very special.
Brilliant, and we're all looking forward to watching the replay at the weekend. Is there one moment of that race that really stands out for you, that you really just sort of sits in your mind, and that you keep going back to?
Let me think. So I said the first 5 laps are all I remember perfectly, but probably holding off Kimi towards the end, I knew I was most likely to go backwards during that last part of the race with very worn tires. I was the only car on a one-stop. Everyone behind me was with the new tires, putting a lot of pressure in me. Cold tires after the safety car restarts, hard tires. I don't know. It was a bit of a disaster, and I remember the pressure and the intensity of those laps was incredible. And I was very nervous at the time because I knew I had a 4th place in my hand. at the same time, I knew that something up front could happen with Pierre and Luis battling during the whole last lap. And I wanted to keep that position. And I don't know, I remember the pressure, the intensity of the race itself was huge and probably the most nervous or the most intense I've been in on top of a Formula One car. The heart rate was sky high, I'm sure. And when I jumped out of the car, it was I was probably very tired because of the whole race.
Cool. Right, let's take some questions from the fans. Nice one to get going. What are your goals right now? So as we look towards this season, when, if it's going to start, what are your goals for 2020 once the racing begins?
So I have two kind of goals. One is the racing one, and the other one is the personal one. No, on the personal side, I want to, when I get back to London, I will do all my physical tests with Rupert, and I will try and hit the gym, my bench press, my pull-ups, my running marks, and I will show him that during these 3 months I've been training hard, and I will try and make him happy, and we will have a hamburger together after that to celebrate. So that's the first target, to get back after this long period at home, showing commitment to my trainer, showing commitment to the team, showing that I'm fitter than any time before. And then the other target, obviously, as soon as the season starts, is to probably keep improving some of my weaknesses from last year that I still think I have and I want to keep pushing, and making sure that I keep the momentum going from last year into this year, and keep it going and keep improving, and never relax, never fall into comfort place, you know, always keep pushing myself, my engineers and everyone around me to keep scoring good points and good results, and make sure McLaren keeps that 4th place in the championship that at the moment I think is where it deserves to be, and we keep that position up.
What classic car would you drive? So what's your dream road car, like a classic car?
Oh, I don't know. It's a good question, but a road car.
Yeah, I guess so. Do you care much about the cars that you drive on the road, or does it all sort of become insignificant because you drive the fastest cars in the world on a racetrack?
I was exactly going to say that. I mean, I remember a lot of people laughing when I was interviewed in a Formula One press conference, everyone asking, which car do you have? And I was 20 at the time, I'm 25 now. And they asked me, which car do you have? And I said, I have a Golf. And everyone laughed in the press conference. I still have that Golf in Madrid, and I haven't bought any car. I still have that Golf 5 years later, a Golf GTI with more than nearly 100K on the back of it, and I still haven't bought a car myself. I've been lucky enough to receive a McLaren by McLaren to go around in Woking and London, that I cannot complain at all. That's probably a reason why I haven't bought another car. But I've also had a Renault Megane there in London that I've been given by a team. But in Madrid, when I go back to Madrid, the Golf's still there, and I still use it.
Brilliant. So Takuma Sato famously used to drive a Mini Cooper, and I think Jarno Trulli used to drive like a Fiat 500, because it was just like, you know, whatever, we don't need anything faster. What's your favorite track?
You know, over these last couple of years, I always said it was Spa-Silverstone. But over these last couple of years, every time I go to Suzuka, I actually realize that it's Suzuka. The problem is that I don't drive in Suzuka much. I only drive once a year. So for me, every time I go there, it's a shock to the system how cool that track is. And I've been doing well there the last couple of years, and it's become probably my favorite one now. My favorite race weekend would be Monaco and Spain, but the favorite racetrack, Suzuka.
I remember with Toro Rosso, you had that terrible race at Suzuka, and you got out. And I remember, and I asked you the question. I was like, "What on earth was today about?" And you said, "I just want to apologize to everybody. That was the worst race of my life." And that, I think, for a lot of people, made them realize how immediately introspective you were. That you could you could harness and you could own your mistakes and say, "I just screwed up today."
Yeah, I mean, people need to understand that we are racing drivers, we are Formula One drivers, but we are humans, and we also have bad days at work. You know, we have once, obviously you need to try and reduce them to the maximum, you know, but and now I actually remember last year not jumping out of the car once saying I've had a bad day in the office. No, but during that time I was still in my first, second, third year of Formula One. I don't remember very well which year exactly it was. I think it was 2016, second year in Formula One.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, look, I just had a terrible day in the office, like anyone could have. And I apologized to the team and to everyone. And that was it. And actually that helps you to turn page much earlier. Once you do that to yourself and to say it out loud, helps you to the next day, said, okay, this chapter is closed and now I go and focus on the next one.
This is a nice question. We've never had this question on any of these before. It's lovely. How do you stop nerves? Do you get nervous when you race?
Yes, definitely. I get really nervous, but I like it. It's a way of saying you need to like being nervous. In the sport I practice, you need to end up liking the pressure and enjoying those nerves, and make you feel more concentrated, more focused on the job. You know, without those nerves, I wouldn't feel very focused or so tense about the situation. And people need to learn how to enjoy the nerves and how to profit from them, you know, to get you that last point of adrenaline, that last point of tension that makes you react quicker to the lights at the start, that makes you take better decisions in the first lap. Why? Because you're switched on, you know, and you're just wanting to go flat out racing. You need to control them, and that's part of youth. I remember being very young and making a lot of mistakes because being too nervous and too flashy, like that race probably that we were commenting before. But you need to like the nerves.
Yeah, embrace the nervous energy.
Yeah.
Right, we need to wrap this up pretty quickly, but there's one last question. It's been asked so many times. Will you miss your Muppet friend? Or will you look forward to racing against your Muppet friend?
Will, I lost you there. Repeat the question, please.
Will you miss your Muppet friend? Or will you
my Muppet friend. Yeah. I will miss him for sure. I think we've had an incredible relationship. We've had a very special, teammate relationship. As I said, we're actually good mates, as I said in that video, and I'm enjoying the time in McLaren with him, and I'm keen to keep enjoying it until the end of the year. And I'm sure I will keep a good relationship with him, probably even better because we will be a bit less same rivals, but not with the pressure of being teammates once the season is over, you know. So yeah, I will definitely miss him, and it will be good fun.
Brilliant stuff. Carlos, thanks so much for your time, mate. Really appreciate it. And given a couple of weeks, we may even be back on a racetrack together. Looking forward to it.
Hopefully, I can't wait, Will, to see you all there and enjoy racing again and a Formula One paddock. So let's go for it.
Brilliant stuff, mate. Take care. Thank you for coming on and answering the questions. Be safe, be well. And we will see you all later, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Bye, everyone. Thank you very much.